Toronto, one of the most powerful, wonderful, upcoming rising stars in our city tonight. We have the luxury and the pleasure of listening to another empowered woman, upcoming rising star millennial, our wonderful Kelly Leong tonight. And before we bring her on, I'd like everyone to get comfortable, get your pens and papers out. You know, a lot of the sharing that happens on the Conversations of Success call is all about what are people doing, the next rising stars, the people that are crushing and breaking the ceiling of limitation, of understanding the vision of this business model, who are actually in the trenches, getting the experience and sharing what they've gone through, where they're going, so we can inspire our entire Organo family around the world. If you're joining us live today, please let us know in the thread where you're chiming in from. Are you from North America? Are you from Europe? Are you from wherever you are? Welcome to tonight's call. We're super excited to have you on. Also, let us know what you're drinking tonight and what your favorite Organo product is. I have so many favorites. Tonight we're doing green tea because it is a tea delicious moment. I think I just am drawn to the green tea. One of the most delicious beverages. It was actually the product I was sample on was the green tea. So while we're getting everyone joining us live, let us know where you're from. Let us know what your favorite beverage is, what you're drinking right now if you are drinking something, and join us on this wonderful Sunday night Conversations of Success call. So I'm here to kick it off and to have a fabulous conversation with our new rising star, our wonderful, empowered female entrepreneur, millennial, who is really wise and is learning from other people's mistakes and is deciding to take the control of her life now and start carving out the life of her dreams, and what she's done in this industry and where she's going and her visions and her feedback and basically a course of action. So Kelly Leong, welcome to tonight's Conversations of Success call. A big unveiling to our wonderful rising new star, and lovely to have you live and direct joining us and joining the entire Organo family. Welcome to tonight's call, and you know, let's just kick it off and I'll let you start sharing your journey in Organo and what inspired you and your story. We're gonna have a delicious conversation tonight.
Wow, super, super honored to be here on the call. I was, you know, actually about a year ago, I was thinking, like, how cool would it be to be on a success call, and you know, a year later it happened. So, you know, you gotta believe it and create it in your mind, and it does happen. So a little bit about me, I'm a very real person. I'm raw, I'm unscripted, and so I'm really excited to kind of spend the next little while just really sharing with you from the heart. And I really hope that what I have to say will really help some of you that just need it. Maybe you need to hear a message that I have. So a little bit about me, I'm a first generation Canadian. I'm actually from South Africa, which is kind of cool. Born in Johannesburg, and had a pretty traditional upbringing. You know, I was raised under the premise of go to school, get good grades, go to school, get a degree, which I did, and then go to school again and get another degree, which I did. And I trained and became licensed as a physiotherapist or a physical therapist, and started practicing. And kind of right off the get-go, I realized that I was not a fit for working for someone else, like working as a job, working at a clinic for someone. And I kind of took a leap, and I wanted to kind of break through my own glass ceiling a little bit. And so I started my own private practice, which was a brick and mortar practice, and I was doing home visits. And I really thought that was kind of the answer. I was like, okay, you know, I'm in control here. I get to be my own boss. I get to create my own schedule. I am the limiting factor of how far I want to go with this. And so I kind of ventured on that journey. So I had that entrepreneurial spirit, if you will. I think I've always had that in me. Even as a kid, you know, in grade 4, I actually started a class newsletter. In grade 8, I ran a walkathon. I started a conference in grade 12. You know, I started my own youth dragon boat team after university. So I think I've always kind of had that in me. I just didn't didn't really find something that really stuck with me yet. And so here I am, treating one-on-one, and I know there's a lot of clinicians and self-employed people who work client to client, patient to patient. You're paid fee for service. If you see a client, you get paid. If you don't see a client, you don't get paid. And kind of that was the life I was living in, and it's great, it's got its pros, but it left me feeling still unfulfilled. I felt like there was something missing. And, working really long hours, seeing lots of clients was taking a really big toll on me physically and emotionally and mentally. And I just felt like something was draining. It's almost like when you have a phone and you plug your phone in and it's fully charged, and then you go about your day, and then you suddenly look at your phone and you're like, what the heck? It said 20%. Where did all my battery go? And that was how I was feeling. And so when that happens, it's, some people kind of ignore it, we overlook it. But if you really pay attention to why that's happening, it's like your body's telling you that just something's not right. Something's not aligned, and you kind of have to figure that out for yourself as to what that is. And so, that kind of started me on this journey, and I started looking for something, but wasn't conscious that I was looking for something. I was intuitively looking for an opportunity, something different, something that was going to fulfill me, something that was going to challenge me, both business-wise, personal-wise, everything. And I happened to stumble upon it. So,
I wonder what that was.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, Diane, I'm a millennial. I don't have kids. So I'm in that stage of my life where I'm kind of just trying to figure out who I am. And I'm kind of trying to figure out the direction in which I want to go. Trying to figure out, what I want to commit myself to, where I want to put my energy, the legacy I want to leave, how I want to grow and stretch myself, and, the kind of impact that I want to have on this world. And I think that for me, it's happening right now. But you could be a millennial, you could be a Gen Z, you could be at any stage of your life and kind of be in this spot where you're like, I feel like something's missing. I feel like I'm not doing what I'm here to do. And I think when you find that thing, everything just starts clicking. Like you feel it, right? Like things start to feel different. You wake up with vigor. You're no longer like rolling out of bed. You'll know intuitively when you find kind of the thing that you're supposed to be doing, and, the path that you're on, that's the right path. And so for me, I started to realize that I was stuck in this paradigm of trading time for money. And it was a paradigm that, was something that was learned. It was something that, it was kind of a product of, your family, the society, your education, your family's beliefs, your parents' beliefs that were passed down from their parents' beliefs, and et cetera, right? And so I felt like it was great for some people, but I could just feel like it was not a good fit for me. And I wanted to break out, and I wanted to do something different. And I wanted choices, and I wanted options, and I wanted to live a life that I designed, and live by my own expectations, and not live a life by someone else's expectations, or live a life that was created by someone else,
I totally understand. And I agree with you 100%. And what excites me, one of the most exciting things I find about your story is I can personally relate to it, with the difference that I didn't know what you know now back then. See, so I related so much to your story. And I remember meeting you at one of the first presentations through one of the team members. And, when I see a practitioner that's got a brick and mortar practice and that's all they have, oh, I know what it's like to have that dream and then do it, but then have a limitation of time. I remember the pain of, having clients cancel last minute and just my whole income bracket fluctuating based on, you know, whether people were booking or not booking, whether there were cancellations or not. And waiting for years until I became a single mom was where it really was my wake up call. But when I see someone like yourself, Kelly, where I'm like, dude, if you can dig your well now before you need it, do it. And I love how you had that inner voice and you listened to that intuition and that inner guidance, which we all have, but you did it at such an early age and stage of your life. And I get excited for you because if I could do it over again, I'd do it back then. However, it's all good, divine guidance. It's all divine timing. So I just love the path you're on. And I love the rawness and the realness that you show up in, and the fact that you want to stretch, because no other industry is as expansive like network marketing. You know, you get stretched to be the best version of yourself. So keep on sharing. And I'm so having flashbacks as you speak.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, like I started to think about what I want my life to look like. You know, what are the things that I like doing? I love traveling. I love spending time with my dog. My dog is, you know, my emotional support animal. He's my family. And so being outside in nature where I get to experience that and just kind of unplug and have that space to do that, you know, that's what I want for my life. Right. And so, you know, he's my business partner. He gets to come with me to meetings with me. Right. Like, and so creating a life by design is just, it's something that really spoke to me. And I was willing to take that gamble on myself because I knew that if I didn't go for it, it would be something that I regret. And 100%. Regret is really hard, right? It's really hard to live with. Yeah.
I love Zeus.
I know.
We've seen him at the meetings. He's there. He's so well behaved. He's just hanging out under the chair. You would never guess the dog is in the room unless something crazy happens and you hear a little wolf in the corner. But he's like just your little fur baby and your fur child. So he's always welcome.
And it's amazing that he gets to be a part of this, right? And I get to choose when I want to spend time with him, right? So yeah, I kind of stumbled upon the opportunity. I jumped 2 feet in because that's my personality. I go for it. And, you know, I think when you start anything new, and network marketing was so new to me, I had no idea. I didn't know the business model. I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. And I'm pretty sure when we met Diane too, I'm pretty sure the words out of my mouth were, I have no idea what you guys are up to, but I want in. And I was just going, I'm pretty sure those were the words. I had no idea, but I was just going based on the sense that this is something that I wanted to be a part of. Like I could feel your energy and I could feel that it was something that I wanted to do, and I listened to my gut is really what I did. And I trusted you and I trusted Dr. Bob. And I didn't even know you guys, but it was just like, you guys were so like solid and confident about where you were going. And I knew that you guys are not going to stop. So, that's what, you know, like it, yeah. So I jumped 2 feet in, and, you know, whenever you're starting something new, I equated to driving a car. And don't tell my sister I'm using this picture, but this is a picture I took of her on her first time ever in a car. We were, you know, going out to learn how to drive, and she's like terrified. And, you know, I think a lot of people are kind of terrified when they start, especially when they have no idea what they're doing. You know, no background in network marketing. I hated sales. You know, just so many limiting beliefs. And so, you know, I jumped 2 feet in, and that's a picture of you, Diane, at my first ever mixer. And that's actually a picture of the first ever sachet of Organo that I ever drank. And so, you know, I listened to the people that had gone before me. And the biggest advice was plug yourself in, you know, go to training, just like any other job that you would start, right? Any other new venture, any other new skill, like you've got to learn some skills. You have to educate yourself, right? Just like driving a car, right? You have to know where the gas pedal is, when to press it, when to press the brake, how to indicate, when to turn your wipers on, all of that, right? So just like anything else, you have to learn those skills. And this is a really great analogy. And I love analogies because I'm such a visual learner, but you can have the fanciest car, but if you never put your foot on the gas pedal, like you're not going to go anywhere, right? So, we have a wonderful vehicle that I, 100% absolutely believe in. And we can have the best comp plan, the best products, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the best leadership, everything. But if you never put your foot on the gas pedal, right, it's just, you're not going to go anywhere. So it's making the decision and, taking that leap of faith on yourself, learning how to push the gas pedal, how to turn the wheel, all of that, how to drive. And that's going to help you go forward. So that's exactly what I did. And about probably less than 2 weeks into kind of signing on the dotted line and taking that jump, my sponsor said, she was at an event and she said, if you're really serious about this, you will find a way to get to Unite in Vegas in February. And you will find a way to get to GoPro next year. This is a year out. And so I said, okay, because, if you're going to get in the car, you can't have one foot in the car and one foot out. Like you got to get your whole body in the car. You got to close the door. You got to turn the ignition and you got to press the gas, right? So that's exactly what I did. And I found a way to get to the first event, which was about 2 months after I started. Yeah.
I love it. 2 months after you started and you said, you know what, I'm all in. I'm going to buy a plane ticket. I'm going to buy my event ticket. And this was a destination event. It wasn't like, hey, there's an event in the city next week, 45-minute drive. This was like, you got to book a hotel. You just met this team. You barely know anyone, but you were following that inner compass and that inner guidance. And I think that's really key for everyone to hear on the call. Events will build your business faster than anything else. I don't get tired of saying it. I'm a huge advocate of events. I know this for a fact. Every top leader in the world, in this industry and in our company has had a breakthrough at a major event. There's nothing like a major event where you pulled out of your comfort zone, you're immersed in the information, you get a vision and a belief bigger than what you could possibly dream, and you get to associate with people that have gone down the road you've gone through. So your law of association, who you surround yourself by, the stories, and the moment to just eliminate all distractions. In events are where decisions are made, and that's where leaders are born. So, no coincidence we're on this call tonight, but I think it's really powerful that within 2 weeks, you're like, sign me up, I'm in. That speaks volumes, and you're here. So tell me what breakthroughs you had at this event or what memories you have about it.
Well, honestly, this event, I think was really, really key for me. Because when I started, it was just no one in my network, no one in my, my family. Network marketing was so new. The concept, the business model was so new that, I really felt like the black sheep, and I still do to some extent. But I mean, in terms of, family support, my parents probably still don't really understand it. I don't think my friends understood it. So having that event to look forward to, having a community and a support team behind me that could kind of have my back, was key, just to sort of build my own belief initially. I had to do a lot of educating myself about the business model, about the concept of passive income or residual income. I think that was really key at the beginning for me. And I know a lot of people also, that might have challenges with that. But at the first event, they were like, it was a goal that I would qualify VIP by the first event so that I could cross the stage. And I had no idea what that meant. They were like, you need to hit VIP so you could cross the stage. And I was like, sure, okay. No idea. But you know, when I got there and I got to do that, I mean, that was huge, because once you do it, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I get what they're saying. But, you know, across the stage and just having everyone cheer for you, and really that was huge for building my own belief in the sense of like, oh my goodness, I can actually do this, right? You know, getting to meet other people from the company, other people in the team. You know, I got to do a little bit of a small group session with Jacob while I was there, which is awesome. Because I could totally relate to him, and it was just, you know, he was someone that I looked up to, and you really admired the success that he's had. And, you know, and from there it was, you know, there was the next event to look forward to, right? You know, can I cross the stage at the next one, right? And so, you know, going to events, this is at UTX, but a really key memory for there was just watching you with your diamond ceremony. I think everyone was in tears because, you know, we see just how hard you work behind the scenes, and it's amazing to have someone in your leadership who's on the ground doing, like, in the trenches with you, which is amazing. So that was, you know, that was really pivotal for me, because again, it was an, oh my gosh, I think I can actually do this kind of moment. You know, when you start to see people in your you know, OG family that are having success that you can relate to, that you're like, oh my God, this person is a real person. You know, they have flaws, they're not perfect, they have challenges, they have their hard days, you know, but they're still going for it. They're still putting one foot in front of the other every single day is, you know, very, very, very inspiring. And I, you know, going to GoPro and having that third party evidence and seeing all these different people from all these different companies. I remember sitting there as they did the $1 million Hall of Fame induction, and it's like half an hour of people just crossing the stage as new millionaires that have earned over $1 million in network marketing. And I remember sitting there the entire time with my jaw just like wide open, being like, oh my goodness.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure I probably texted you a whole bunch of times being like, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, like this is actually real, because, you know, you have doubts. Everyone has doubts. I think that's normal, right?
Totally normal.
Right?
Totally normal. Everyone has doubts. Everyone. Right? You know, you doubt yourself, you doubt the industry, you doubt the company, you doubt your cross line, you doubt your upline, you doubt everyone. It's normal. It's normal. It's that conditioning, it's that learning, but it's the questions that say, hey, you can either decide that that's going to be the reality and give up, or you can decide to ask better questions and understand how it can be done. And I love this story. I didn't even know you brought up these slides, by the way, everyone. It's not like I previewed any of this, you know, we're just kind of flowing with conversation, but it's true, Kelly. You know, we've built side by side. You've seen me in the trenches, late nights, exhausted, hair in a bun. And I'm on fire because I know that I know that I know. And I'm super excited that you brought up the $1 million Hall of Fame, which is really a real indicator of people in our industry of direct sales earning $1 million a year commissions in whatever products they have. And when you look and see what stuff is out there and you realize what we have, you just know that you know that you know that this is possible for anyone who understands it, who's willing to go for it, and who really has the belief in their heart and in their mind and in their upline and in their company to make it happen. So you're definitely well on your way. And I'm super excited to have you in the team. And, you know, just for people on the call, Kelly is third generation from me. So I had my person I sponsored who sponsored. You're fourth for me. Are you fourth?
Yeah,
Fourth generation. So this is where I became the queen of depth. You know, when I sponsored someone, the first thing I did was let me know your friends and family. Let's get them following with the product. I want to meet who you know. And then I want to meet who they know. And then I want to meet who they know, because I'm a fan of, you know what, I've worked so hard to get my prospect, you know, seeing the vision. I don't want them falling off. What I want to do is I want to help them grow. And as they grow their own belief in the business and have their own, you know, challenges and ups and downs, if I can help them secure sales and signups, well, guess what? They're going to stay in the business, at the very least, keep ordering. That allows me to build stability. So, depth will build stability, wealth width will build wealth. But I find stability is huge because width will happen over time, but it's the depth that is so key that sometimes people don't realize. So this is where, building a connection and really heartfully getting to know the new members, building a bond, and understanding what is Kelly about, what does she need, how is she wired, and how can I best support her? And that creates a friendship for life. So I'm just so excited about, all this sharing tonight. But yeah, keep going, Kelly. I keep just adding a couple things there.
It's all good. Yeah, so I guess that leads me to the next thing is, mentorship, right? So again, if you go back to the car analogy, when you're sitting in traffic and you're inching, and then you look over to the left. If you live in a different part of the world, you look to the right, but you still look to the left. I'm not sure.
As long as you're looking.
But you look at the carpool lane and there's people like flying by and you're sitting in your car going, what? How are they going so fast? And I'm not. Well, they've got someone else in the car with them. And that person, yeah, a mentor, right? And, that could be, and some of my mentors, they don't even know that they're my mentors, right? Wow. So, and some of them are cross-line.
Wonderful.
Which is totally okay, right? But, especially at the beginning, when you're learning how to drive the car, your belief level is maybe not where it could be. You have doubts again, which is normal, but look to the people that have gone before you. Look to the people that resonate with you, that you can connect with. And that's not going to be everyone, and that's okay, right? But find someone to be your pace setter, if you will, right? Someone to set the pace for you. Again, someone to connect with, that, because you're going to have those bad days. You're going to have those bad weeks. You might have those bad months, right? And that's okay. That's a part of life, right? We all have that. That's, that's normal. But, find someone who really understands where you want to go and can really help you to get there, and can hold you accountable for the times when maybe you don't have the belief in yourself, but they see something in you that maybe you don't see yet. I think is really, really key. So, Casey was in town in Toronto about a month ago, actually. And I was really honored to be able to spend some time with her. And again, that was another key moment where I was like, oh my goodness, I think I can do this. Because we're around the same age, and I was like, she's really cool and I can relate to her, and we're having fun. We're at Niagara Falls and she loves water, and it was a really great experience, and it really helped to build, again, my belief in the business, in the products, in the company, in myself, which I think is huge. So, really find someone who you can lock arms with, really, that can be there to support you and help you move forward. And again, finding people, finding that community. So the picture on the top there, that's our generational picture.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generations right there, which is kind of cool.
How fun is that?
Sometimes I'm really grateful. Just, find a community. Yeah, absolutely.
This is the beautiful thing.
Finding, people, connecting with people in your OG world.
Friendships for life. Friendships for life, because when you go through the thick, you go through the thin, you go through the ups, you go through the downs, it's bonding that gets created. Our company is really got so much room for growth. We haven't hit critical mass. Right now, it's really about one team, one dream, and connecting with everyone who's heart-centered in the company, which is really the new version, the new 2.0 of Organo? Who are the leaders that have stayed saying, I am here to lead? And people like Miss Casey Nielsen, you know, lead so passionately. Her story is so incredible. She's a blue diamond. She leads with heart and authority and is the real deal, down to earth and truly humble for all her accomplishments, and the way she just owns the stage. It's just amazing. If you haven't seen Casey Nielsen live, buckle up, because the day we get our live events going again, it is going to, she just blows it off the roof every time. So true honor to have her here in the city, and really smart of you, Kelly, to qualify for the leadership dinners that we've put together with Miss Casey Nielsen and all the beautiful other leaders like Dr. Bob Rakowski and her mom, you know, that's come into the marketplace, Miss Deanna Nielsen, where, you know, we're a big fan of creating events within the events for our local city and team, and to get the new budding teams to strive a little, stretch a little bit bigger, stronger, to be able to now connect with the leadership and learn those pearls that get shared the meeting after the meeting is really where you want to be at. So this is a forgiving industry. That's what, it's a double-edged sword, because most people who've had jobs or had careers, there is no time where you can just decide, well, you know, I'm just going to not do anything for a week and figure out my life and come back and still have the same space in the company, the same level of leadership, the same open arms. So this industry is so forgiving. And that's the beautiful thing about it. But it's also a double-edged sword, because you can make up all kinds of excuses and never move forward, always knowing that there's a soft space to land. So it's really about making that decision of saying, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And, you know, you've done that over and over and over again. We always have to respond to our own psyche, myself included. Many times running for Sapphire and Ruby, many times I came back crying in tears going, okay, plan to review. Okay, what did I learn? How can I do better? What do I need to get over? How do I control my internal dialogue? The most important conversation in your life will be what you're thinking, how you're feeling, what you're telling yourself. And if you need to be around the right association and people and information, well, that's the reality you're going to create, because that's the frequency you're creating for your life. And I love how you're taking charge now. You're not waiting for the massive pain. You're not waiting to be the single mom like I did. You're not waiting for the Cinderella slipper where you think you're going to have like someone take care of you the rest of your life, and it doesn't happen. Too many times we make changes out of pain, but you just decided to wake up, listen to that inner voice earlier, and start getting it done. Love it.
Yeah. So, you know, we talk about incentives. And kind of making the decision and going for it. So at Unite, which was the first event I went to 2 months after I started, was when they were announcing the destinations for the OG Getaway. And I saw Bali come up and I was like, okay, that's it. And I made the decision then and there that I was going to qualify to go to Bali. And, you know, when you make a decision and you commit to it, I'm a student of Napoleon Hill, and Napoleon Hill basically says, you know, you can make a decision, but really what kind of gets you over the line and really where that commitment comes in is when you add emotion to it. When you have emotion behind a decision and a commitment, that is when the magic happens. Because then you have, you know, like fire. Now you're fired up. When you've got emotion behind it, you've got a reason, you're motivated, and there's just a higher level of commitment. And so I stretched. This was an incentive that really I did have to stretch personally. You know, I had to do a lot of stepping out of my own comfort zone. And when I found out that I got to go to Bali, it was like, it was the best thing. So there's my suitcase there. On the right side of my suitcase is my clothes. And on the left side of my suitcase is all coffee and shake.
Ready to sample. I love it. He's prepared.
And that is how I travel. That is how I travel. So, you know, Bali it's a trip of a lifetime. So many unforgettable experiences and moments being there. You know, I got to travel with the wonderful Emily Morrow and spend some time with her, which is amazing because, you know, we really have a lot in common and we can relate to each other. So it was really nice to have like another young female entrepreneur who's just so powerful, and to get to spend time with her, and, you know, working in the pool, you know, getting to really have some one-on-one time with really powerful people who are going really, really great places was awesome. I love adventure, and I love to kind of go off the beaten trail a little bit and do some exploring. So being able to experience Bali and travel on my own and do all of that was amazing. And I actually got to climb Mount Batur, which is one of the mountains in Bali. And again, I love analogies. And, you know, climbing mountains, or I love hiking, but climbing mountains in specific, this particular one, I had to get up at 1 a.m. in the morning, take a 2-hour car ride to get to the base of the mountain, and then spend 3 hours hiking up the mountain to get to the top in time for sunrise. And when you think about climbing mountains, you know, my legs were burning. I wanted to stop so many times. You know, your lungs are burning, your legs are burning, you're sweating, you're tired, it's dark, you can't see, you're just kind of following the person in front of you. You're questioning, why am I here climbing this mountain at 4 a.m?
You left you started climbing at 4 or 2 a.m. I remember you getting
like
ready.
3 a.m.
So 3 a.m. Kelly decides she's going to climb this mountain. And by the way, that's not a sunset. That is a sunrise. Am I correct about that? I remember this in Bali. I'm like, okay, you're going to be okay up there.
Yeah.
I'll be at the pool. You let me know how it goes, but good for you.
It was amazing because, you know, if you think about, you know, your diamond run, you think about your sapphire run, you think about life, right? There are moments where you want to stop, where your legs are burning, your lungs are burning. You're like, I didn't eat enough breakfast this morning. I'm tired. It's 4 a.m. I'm disoriented. Like, I can't see in front of me because it's dark. You know, we all have those kind of moments in our life where we're like, oh, is it worth it? And then you get to the top and you're like, oh man, it's worth it.
I did it.
It's worth it. Just the feeling of being on top of the world, you know, knowing that you got there on your own 2 feet, knowing just, you know, that you got through the lung burning and the leg burning and waking up at 1 a.m. and all of that to make it to the top is amazing. And really, you know, that's a metaphor for life. That's a metaphor for your organo journey, for any journey that you're in your life. It's a huge metaphor. And then the cool thing is when you get to the top of the mountain, you see the next peak and you go, oh, there's more. So you never really stop climbing the mountain. There's just, you get to the top and there's a new mountain, a new summit, if you will, that you want to climb. And, you know, you make that decision to go for that next summit. And it might take a little bit of preparation on your behalf, right? Like, you may not be ready to go for that next summit. But it's there and it's your choice if you want to go climb it.
How beautiful the analogy. And just because I'm here and there's 2 of us tonight, I'm actually looking at my phone. Nana, our diamond from Asia, says hello. Nana was actually one of the beautiful diamonds. What a gorgeous soul. And we spent time with her in Bali and her beautiful team, you know, and in those previous pictures that you just saw Kelly posted, there is Nana, the diamond from Asia, all her team. And we are all connecting, sharing stories. We're learning on the other and meeting the other leaders around the world. And this is what incentives will do. By the way, you know, Organo has a global pool. For those of you that are still learning the comp plan that are brand new, that means that when you're ruby, emerald, or diamond above, 3% of the sales, there is a percentage that gets divided amongst all of us diamonds, all of us emeralds, all of us rubies. So we really are a united family. And there's something to be said about that. But it is so powerful to stretch for those incentives because it makes the building fun. By the way, if you get the incentive trip, that's a bonus because you by default grow your business in the process. It's very intelligent. Every single incentive is designed for you to build your business. So if you get the incentive, how exciting, you get to travel with your team. And if you don't, you by default grow a business faster, bigger, stronger than you ever would have on your own. So I'm a big fan of striving for incentives. Nana's on live with us tonight. She says our hellos. Thank you. Hello, Nana. Hello, everyone on the threads. We love connecting with the Organo family. And really, Kelly, you nailed it. Climbing the mountain is how I see the business, right? It's like climbing Mount Everest. There's camp base 1, camp 2, camp 3, camp 4. Then there's the summit, and every camp is a representation of a pin. So why would you want to carve a new path? Why don't you connect with the people that have already made it to the summit, that can lead the way, that have carved open the path for you, you know, so that you can keep going with your team. And if you need to rest and gather your thoughts and gather your strategies at each base camp, then do it. But you really are in business for yourself. You're not by yourself. It is your decision. Again, it is your decision. You got to decide if you want this. We can want it for you, but you're the one that's got to put the one foot in front and the left foot and the right foot and the left foot and just keep going and manage that internal dialogue, manage the tiring moments, manage the moments of tears, because we've all had it. But that's where when you get to the peak, isn't it so delicious to just see that scenery? And just like reaching the peak in Organo, you know, first peak is diamond, but guess what? There's blue, there's black, there's crown. Just when you think, you know, you hit the summit, it's like, I think I want to climb again. But one of my favorite things is to go back down the mountain, look at the rest of the team saying, hey, let's get you up there too. Because together as a team at the top, it's even more beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this concept where, you know, we think of reaching a goal, reaching that summit, and really the true prize in reaching the summit itself is not actually reaching the summit. It's the person you become on your way to reaching the summit. And so, you know, to get to each next level, if you will, right? If we're using this mountain analogy, you have to grow, right? And so the person you are at when you first start out is not the same person you are at, you know, the next pin, at VIP, at Platinum Elite, at Sapphire. And so that's just, if you're sitting maybe at home and you're questioning, you know, why you haven't hit that next pin yet, or why you're not seeing growth, you know, it really, and this is the part where a lot of people, this is the part where we get a little bit lazy sometimes. This is me being real and just real talking with you guys, because I think a lot of us need to hear this, and this is sometimes hard for us to hear. But when you don't have motion in your business, when you're not growing, you have to stop and ask yourself why. And 100% of the time, it's because you haven't grown enough as a person. You haven't stepped into the person that you need to become in order to get where you want to go, right? So, you know, one of my mentors uses the analogy of, you know, if someone wins $1 million from the lottery, oftentimes they don't keep that $1 million, right? Because yes, they might have $1 million, but they haven't become the person that they need to be a millionaire. So that is, yeah.
Right.
So, you know, and this is, I told Diana, I said, you know, I really want to get real with people because I'm a very real person. And I think that sometimes we don't have these really kind of hard topics to talk about, you know, and this is conversations on success. And sometimes, you know, when we talk about success, when you think about success doesn't just happen. Success in the, you know, before people get to success, there's a lot of ugly stuff that happens in the comfort of your own home, in the comfort of yourself. There's a lot of stuff that you have to work through. And so, you know, this is my story. You may be able to relate, but, you know, I've kind of always struggled with self-esteem and confidence issues. And it's something that I hide really, really well. But, you know, I know for a fact that this is something that absolutely holds me back, because I see when others see other people sort of see where I can go, right? Because they're on the outside. They're not within me. They're on the outside, and they see something that something different, perhaps, than what I see. And so I know that the limiting thing for me is my own belief in where I can go and my own confidence in what I can do. And I know that there's a lot of other people that are on the call that may be going through this. And so, you know, it's normal. I think we all have those moments when you doubt, oh my goodness, can I actually do this?
I love that you're bringing this up.
Yeah.
This
And, you
really
know,
important.
Absolutely.
This is really important. There's so
Yeah.
many people in our industry, in our company, in Organo, and I've met them, and, you know, I was one of them. I'm still one of them, because every time I hit a new rank or a new growth, there's always someone that's, you know, a little higher up that I'm saying, now I want to get to that next place. How do I do it? And it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube. I'm like just, you know, doing this and doing that and trying to figure out the combination to get to the whole solid color. But really, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. And we can't help but to compare. So when we start in companies like, you know, direct sales, where there's a whole bunch of team and there's the running class of 2000, and then certain people are having this great successes, and then you're doing everything you can, but you're like wheels stuck in mud. It is important to have that radical, honest conversation with yourself. Are you really showing up to the best of your capacity? Is your ego standing in the way of you getting better? Because sometimes you got to the ego is going to get in your way of any accomplishment, whether it's in the business, in a relationship, in a friendship, in a cross line. You know, I'm not a fan of comparison, even though it's normal, because it's never going to be comparable. You know, your personality is very different from mine, which is very different from Dr. Bob's and very different from Casey Nielsen. And this is what makes us all so unique. So it's really about, what are you good at? What can you get better at? But until you have that honest conversation with yourself saying, what do I have to improve on? How can I learn better? Let the ego off to the side. The ego is costing you money. It's costing you rank advancements. It's costing you evolution, real deep evolution. So the better you get, the more evolved you become, well, the team and the paycheck starts to reflect your personal growth. And that's why I really love this industry, because I've never been in an industry where you're basically forced to grow if you really want to have success, true fundamental residual income that pays out every month, because you've got reorders and you have solid teams. There's a lot of personal growth in that, but it is worth it, because the better you become, the more you're going to earn, the more influence you're going to have, the more friendships you're going to build around the world, because it's all connected. Everything is interconnected. The more people you help, the bigger hearts you bond with, the better you become, the more fears you start facing, the more breakthroughs. And now, you know, your pin and your growth starts to reflect that. So, and I'm so happy you shared that tonight, Kelly, because, you know, those are the real conversations that need to be had, and the change of the paradigm, and the change of the limiting beliefs. You know, what were we told as children? What was instilled in us? What ex-partners, you know, instilled beliefs in us that don't serve us anymore? So you get to recreate a whole new you. Let's start making that happen now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think limiting beliefs is a huge, huge part of it. And everyone has those. And so I just want to share kind of a strategy that I was taught in terms of how to identify your limiting beliefs and how to break them down. Like, how do you get past that? So I'll give you an example, and a personal example, but one of my big limiting beliefs is, is, you know, you're not good enough, right? So that would be a belief that I have about myself. And so the thing about limiting beliefs is they're like clothes that you wear that were given to you by someone else that you can take off at any time. Great. So it's like you're walking around life wearing this like old, dirty, stinky jacket that you're just choosing to hold on to. You can let go of it at any time. And it wasn't even, you don't even know whose jacket it is. You're just wearing it. So oftentimes, you know, when you start to question the limiting belief, why do I think that I'm not good enough? Then it starts to kind of unravel. And this is, you know, and it can be messy, right? Like, that's straight up and honest. You know, tears will happen, you know, there will be days where you just need to kind of dig deep and get through it and reach out to people if you need that support, or take your own space and you know, work through it in your own way. But it's something that is really important if you're looking to grow to the next level and get yourself there. And
you're right,
so
it's
yeah,
ugly. It
is ugly.
Everything.
It's ugly.
That's when the breakthrough happens. When the tears flow, when the emotions are there, that's what you decide. I got to get this stinky jacket off. It's not mine anymore. And even if I chose it, I don't want to wear it anymore. That's a beautiful thing about this, is that this industry doesn't discriminate who you are, your background, your gender, your education level. If you're coachable, you're hungry, and you want to grow, welcome aboard, because that's what it takes.
Yeah. And so, you know, we talk about growing into or stepping into that person it takes to get to that next level. And part of that is stepping out of your comfort zone. And, you know, Diane always has this saying, right? The person who holds the marker makes the money. And so, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone, getting in front of people. And, you know, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I was actually a really shy kid. I would cower behind my mom's legs if we went to like a party or something. I didn't want to say hello. I didn't want to be in front of a crowd, nothing. So my parents actually sent me to drama classes when I was a teenager, and I hated it. 5 years of drama class, hated it, every moment of it. But, you know, looking back, pretty grateful that I went through that. And so, you know, step out of your comfort zone in whatever way that looks like to you. So it might be, you know, jumping on a Zoom call with a prospect. It might be doing a home presentation for your team member. It might be doing a one-on-one call. That might be out of your comfort zone. It might be just, you know, stepping out and doing something a little bit different than what you're used to. And so in those moments that you step out and you do something that stretches you, it does something sort of internally, if you will. You're terrified. Don't get me wrong. It's terrifying to step out of your comfort zone. I've been kind of on edge all day in anticipation of this, but I know that, you know, once you get through it, and Diane told me, you know, it's a sign to the universe that you are ready and you are willing and you are open to receiving what you have been asking for. Because a lot of us, we ask for things, right? We have a goal in mind. We have a picture of where we want to go and what we want our life to look like. But then we don't take the steps. We don't take the action. We don't put our foot on the gas pedal to get us to that outcome. And so part of getting you there is stepping out of your comfort zone, because how else are you going to grow?
That's exactly it. Whoever holds the marker makes the money. Why? Because the person that teaches is the person that knows the material and learns it the best. Because the person, through repetition, that's how the brain works. And you're saying yes, not only to the moment, you're saying yes to the universal laws that says, I'm ready to step into this, even though I'm terrified, even though I'm scared, even though I'm afraid I'm going to mess up. Because when you say no to the presentation, when you say no to that three-way call, when you say no to that, you know, whatever you got to do, whether it's a home meeting or business meeting or a COS call, then you're saying no to the vibrational universe that's always listening. You have a frequency that you're putting out into the universe saying, either I'm ready or I'm not. So be careful what you're saying no to. Create more opportunities, step into your power. Congratulations, Kelly, for doing this, because I've seen you over and over and over again. When I said that night, I'll never forget, you and someone else came up to me and you're like, okay, when can I hold the marker? I'm like, good for you. Good for you. Taking the initiative, right? Of saying, I'm going to do this, even though I'm scared, but I'm in because I want it.
Yeah. They say yes, and say yes, proclaim it to the world, and then figure it out.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. And you will figure it out. And the big part is just saying yes and having faith and believing that you can do it, because you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
You can.
So, just my main takeaways really are, some of the points that I really want people to kind of go away with. And again, we'll go back to the car analogy because I think it's so beautiful. Is get clear on your destination. Where are you going? If you get into a car, you start the car, you must have a destination in mind. Otherwise, where are you driving to? Right? You're going to drive in circles, or you're just not going to go anywhere. You have to put a destination into the GPS navigation system. That's how it works. So figure out, self-reflect. You may not have a full picture of where you want to go, and that's okay, right? If you think about the mountain, again, sometimes there's fog, and sometimes you can't see past 5 feet in front of you, and that's okay. But in order to see even further, you have to get 5 feet in front of you first. So paint a picture in your mind, whatever that looks like for you. Make it very clear. I'm a really huge believer. Something that I've learned too is sometimes it's not enough to picture it in your mind. You actually have to put it on paper. And one of my mentors, she's an artist, and she teaches people how to take what they're picturing in their mind and put it and express it onto paper through art. And it's a really powerful exercise to do. So, for me, when I was sort of working towards my Bali trip, it was this really clear picture of sunset on a beach, which I did get to experience, which was cool, but I would draw the picture over and over and over and over again. So figure out where you want to go, make a clear picture in your mind, and then take that picture and put it into paper. It doesn't have to be pretty. You just have to know what that represents. It could be stick figures and line drawings, like no one's giving you a grade or anything, but you need to know what that picture represents for you. And once you have that picture and you have that destination, then once your whole body is in the car, your seatbelt is on, the door is closed, you can't have one leg or one arm or your head hanging out the side of the car. It doesn't work that way. Get your whole body in the car and then choose to put your foot on the gas pedal and go. And, if you're like my sister, her first 10 times in the car, you're going 5 kilometers an hour and you're like just tapping on the gas pedal, which is fine. If you are a speed demon, right? You go full frontal, full force, right? That's okay. But the most important thing is that you're in the car and you're going forward. Otherwise you're sitting in a parked car and that's not fun, right? And then, once you're in the car and you're going, really do regular maintenance on your vehicle, and you are your vehicle, right? So manage your mindset, pay attention to your body and how it's feeling, plug in where you need to, lean on support where you have to, take time away if that's what you need. But that regular maintenance is so important because, again, just like cars, if we don't maintain ourselves, then things aren't going to go too well. It's not going to feel great. And then, stay in your lane. So, we kind of talked about this before, but be authentically you in whatever way that looks like. And the last 2 quotes I just want to leave everyone with is, we talk about, this is Conversations on Success. And, you know, Napoleon Hill actually defines success as the ability to change the circumstances you don't like without violating the rights of others. So success looks different for everyone, and depending on what situation you're in, it's going to look different, and that's okay. And to end off the night, remember that you, and only you, are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. And so you really, you know, we have to take full accountability for where we're going and where we're not going. And if we're stagnant, then that's our own fault. And if we want success, then it's up to us.
I love it. I love your story. I love your vision. I love how you make every decision and you keep moving forward, and it's not glamorous and it's not perfect. And there is sweat, tears, you know, doubts, but it's what we do with them. And that's how a diamond's created, right? Diamonds are created under pressure, and you're basically chiseling away at the dream life you want: location freedom, time freedom, travel, you know, and that stability that we're all looking for. And now more than ever, these business models, home-based businesses from the comfort of your phone is really where it's at. Kelly, I'm excited for your future. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for future conversations, because I love how you keep it real, and I love your stories, and we look forward to all the breakthroughs that you're going to keep sharing with the rest of the Organo family. Thank you for sharing so powerfully tonight. Thank you for everyone for joining us on the call. Make your decision, become the master of your fate, the captain of your soul, create the life you deserve to have, create the vision you want for your life. You're in business for yourself, but never by yourself, and you are part of this Organo family. So powerful, big places we're going to. We love you all. Have a fabulous night. Thank you, Kelly, again.